All members, if you'll come to the floor. Our Rules Committee is meeting, but we'll go ahead and get started with our day and hear from our chaplain. So all members will please come to the floor because the hour convening haven't arrived. All members will come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk will ring the bell. All members will come to the floor. Members, this morning, because the Rules Committee has gone over, we're going to delay our morning roll call. So all members can vote their presence here in the chamber. We're going to delay that for a little while till we give those our other colleagues an opportunity to be here. So all members, if you'll please come to the floor. Doorkeepers, if you'll close those doors and keep them closed. As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning is brought to you by the gentleman from the 176th House District, the majority whip of this House, representing James Burchett. Representative Burchett is recognized to introduce our chaplain.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and what a wonderful day it is to be a Georgian, wake up in God's country and come here and work for the people of Georgia. I very much appreciate every one of you in this room. I know we're in the countdown until crossover, and I want you all to know how much I appreciate what you all do for this state. Before I introduce the pastor of the day, our pastor of the day is an 18-year firefighter with the Forestry Commission. And today, some of the leadership from the Forestry Commission and GFA is here in the gallery, and I want to recognize those folks. If you guys would stand. Blair Jones, the regional manager, Chris Butler, the deputy director, Amanda Johnson, executive assistant, and Tim Lauermole from GFA right here in the gallery with us. They mean a great deal. Forestry means a great deal to this state, and these folks, as you can see, are great people to come and support a member of the Forestry Commission that's going to bring the word to us today. So without further ado, Tony Thomas is a good friend of mine and constituent in South Georgia from Waycross, Georgia. As I said, he's been in the Forestry Commission for 18 years, and this is the guy that is on the bulldozers and the tractors fighting the fires when the fires come. He fought in the 2007 and 2011 fires, if you can recall, where the majority of the swamp in South Georgia burnt up. He was fighting those fires. Tony Thomas is the pastor of Open Door Baptist Church in Waycross. He's a devoted husband to his wife Tina and a proud father to their two sons Josh and Jet, and a loving grandfather to his granddaughter Olivia. Pastor Thomas is passionate about serving his church, encouraging others in their faith, and being actively involved in the community. Through his leadership and ministry, he strives to share the message of hope, faith, and service with those around him. Of note, one of my very, very good friends from back home, Paige Taylor Brand, this is her uncle, and she came to me and she said, my uncle really, really wants to come give the word. And I went and spoke with Pastor Tony, and I knew he had to be here. So without further ado, Pastor Tony.
Thank you. Yeah. Good to have you, brother.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to thank Mr. James Burchett and everybody from the bottom of my heart to giving me this opportunity. Somebody from South Georgia gets to come up and speak at the Capitol about something that I love so much. And all of us has got the same, we got to represent. Y'all represent the great state of Georgia. I represent my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And let me tell y'all, what we're going to do today is take a little break before y'all get started. And let's just take a little trip down memory lane, if you will. Can y'all remember, if y'all Christians in here today, can y'all remember where you invited Jesus Christ into your heart? For me personally, I can remember. It was August 25th, 1996, at Swamp Road Baptist Church. The preacher was preaching, and the sermon, I can even remember the sermon. It's pretty good, ain't gonna get it. Pretty good people's gonna die and go to hell. And that day, I went to church. Jesus Christ sat down right beside me, and that preacher was preaching, an old country preacher, and he preached the hell out of me. And Jesus Christ said, he sat down beside me, he said, "Son, do you know where you going?" I said, "Yes, sir, straight to hell." I went down, asked Jesus Christ to come into my heart and save my soul. Let me tell y'all something. He brought me up from a miry pit. That is in Psalms chapter 40. It says he brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of a miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. Verse 3, and he had put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord. What he done for me, he give me something to talk about that's worth talking about. Every day of my life, I wake up and I said, "Lord, just give me somebody to witness to." So I'm here to witness to y'all and show y'all what Jesus Christ can do for somebody. I'm just an old country boy. I was honored to graduate from high school. They was honored to get rid of me. But you know what? I'm saved. I've been saved since 1996, and I've been talking about Jesus Christ ever since. So he's brought me along through here, and back home, I've got a bunch of people nervous. I've got 5 minutes to give y'all a little message. I talk to people that I don't like longer than 5 minutes. So everybody back at our units is worried about what I'm going to say. But you can't go wrong if you're in this book and preaching the word about Jesus Christ out of this Bible. And see, he's given me something else to talk about instead of lying and cheating and all that. I got something that's trustworthy to talk about. Without Jesus Christ, you're not going to heaven. There's no way around it. You can't politic yourself in here. We both have responsibilities. Y'all got the responsibility to lead the state of Georgia into the future. Without a past, you will not have a future. Prior, for me getting saved, I wasn't a real fine citizen. I had manners. I was raised good. But at dark, that's when I went wild, and I done things till daylight, till my mother and dad wake up. I'd be back at home in the bed. Let me tell you something. I got a responsibility to talk about what Jesus Christ can do for you. Now, the other thing I like to talk about is John 3:16. If y'all know it, it says, "Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved." Let me tell you what I like about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's whosoever. You don't have to be from a certain family. You don't have to make a certain amount of money. You can be here, and as long as you bow your knees and ask God to come in your heart and ask him to save you, you can be saved. We ain't in no categories. We ain't in from no certain politics. We not even in some certain families. You know what? I was raised on Gilmore Street in Waycross. I ain't never had a lot of money, but you know what? I've got pure happiness right now. Jesus Christ come into my heart. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. But you know what? I'm here to tell y'all today. What happened to me in South Georgia can happen to anybody in Atlanta, Georgia, anywhere in this great state of Georgia. Let me tell you something. I represent where I work at, and I represent the state of Georgia. That's what you got to be if you're a Christian or you're doing y'all's job. All you got to do is represent, and my job is to represent my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's never let me down. He's never forsook me. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen? People can get saved in this room today. You don't have to be in a church. You don't have to be in a prayer meeting. You can be in a restaurant. You can be at home. You can be on the side of the road. My pastor at Swamp Road Baptist Church, where I got saved, he got saved on the side of Swamp Road. He was a mean man. Let me tell you what happened to him. God can conquer anybody. It don't matter what you've done. He don't look at all that. He hid my past when he saved me. Do you know who remembers your past? The devil. Do you know what the devil will do to you? Coming up here to Atlanta, I'm dressed up in a suit. I've learned how to tie a tie, and I look like the most important fella. I was riding in the back seat of that truck. I had my big boss man and our lady riding me around. I was riding, waving at people. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy any moment God will give you to testify about what Jesus Christ done for you. That's the thing. If salvation is free, y'all know prices is going up. Only thing left free in this great state of Georgia is salvation. You can get saved today. So I think I about got my 5 minutes. But you know what? I thank y'all for the opportunity, and it's just a nice opportunity to get to come back. Somebody from South Georgia, and my little church. Let me tell y'all, and I'll close with this. I went to this little old church. I was one of the 4. Tell you how God works. We run about 51 now. I've been there less than a year. Tony Thomas ain't done nothing. God's done it. I'll tell y'all this. People's getting saved at that church. It's my responsibility to pass the word, share the word. I don't care where you from. When I get to heaven, if I get there before y'all, look me up. There ain't but one way there, and that's through Jesus Christ. You can't get through there no other way. When y'all get there, I know my address in heaven. It's on the corner of Straight and Narrow. That's it. And y'all know what? My house is going to have a porch all the way around it. Because I'm going to get to talk, because that neighbor's going to get tired. That neighbor's going to get tired. And I want to just circle the house and keep talking and serving my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. All right. Let's stand and pray. Lord, just thank you once again for this beautiful day. Thank you for these people that comes here that that's going to lead Georgia and pass these bills, Lord. And Lord, just come down and sit down beside them, Lord, and just help guide them in the right direction to carry Georgia into the future, Lord. And we give you all the honor and the glory, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And join me in the pledge.
Preach it, brother. I'm going to tell you what now. Don't come any better than that. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Tony. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for that message. Brother Tony will be in the South Annie room if you'd like to get a photo with him, and thank him for that message. That's a pretty inspiring message there. Thank you, Brother Tony. I wish all the members of the Rules Committee could have heard that. Maybe they can go back and review it. If our friends from Waycross want to come down to that South Annie room, if y'all want to come down to the South Annie room and get a photo with Pastor Tony whenever you get ready. I think he's being mobbed out here. Members, our doctor of the day today is brought to us by Representative Mary Frances Williams of the 37th. That's Dr. Joanne Zhu. We appreciate her being here. Dr. Zhu, thanks for being here in service. Members, take advantage of Dr. Zhu if you need her. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day, and we have found it to be correct.
Thank you, Chairman Hilton. The chair of the Committee on Information and Audits reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Illustration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted.
I slept in the car.
Well, I did too, for different reasons. My wife kicked me out.
Let's take a photo. Let's see where Ben go.
I'm gonna drop it.
The building has just been renovated here. That new building and everything else. Okay, members, we'll go first reading of bills and resolutions. So you may want to listen to some of these and see where your bills go. First reading of bills and resolutions, clerk will read.
House Bill 1483 by Representative Stevens, the 164th bill be titled Act to amend Code Section 91123 and Article 7 of Chapter 5 entitled 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to class actions and miscellaneous local administrative provisions.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1484 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, a bill being titled Act to authorize the governing authority of the City of Bowman to levy an excise tax.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1485 by Representative Gunner of the 8th, a bill being titled Act to amend to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Probate Court of Union County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1486 by Representative Persinger of the 119th Camp of the 135th and Irwin of the 32nd. Bill be titled Act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
Education.
House Bill 1487 by Representative Anderson of the 10th and Irwin of the 32nd. A bill be titled Act to amend an act to provide a new charter for the city of Cornelia.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1488 by Representative Williams of the 168th and Deloach of the 167th. Bill be titled Act to establish the Hinesville Conference Center and Tourism Authority.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1489 by Representative Baker of the 64th, Alexander of the 66th, and New of the 40th. A bill be titled Act to amend an act to provide a new charter for the city of Douglasville.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1490 by Representative Gamble, the 15th, Wade of the 9th, Green of the 154th, McDonald the 26th, Seaball the 34th. Bill being titled Act to amend titles 20, 45, and 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
State properties.
House Bill 1491 by Representative Scoggins the 14th and Gamble the 15th. Bill be titled Act to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from certain Bartow County ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1492 by Representative Flournoy the 74th and Douglas the 78th. Bill be titled Act to provide a homestead exemption from the city of Hampton ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1493 by Representative Jackson the 68th, McLean of the 109th, Mitchell the 88th, Holly the 116th, and McQueen of the 61st. The bill be titled an act to amend Title 34 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to labor and industrial relations.
Industry and labor.
House Bill 1494 by Representative Sanchez of the 42nd, Glaze of the 67th, McLean of the 109th, Adesanya of the 43rd, Ali of the 106th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 3 of Chapter 1 and Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to ride-share network services.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 1495 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Glaze of the 67th, Williams the 168th, Alexander of the 66th, Taylor of the 92nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 and Title 44 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to landlord and tenant.
Governmental affairs.
Bill 1496 by Representative Campbell of the 35th, Jones of the 60th, Parsons the 44th, McQueen of the 61st, Earhart of the 36th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to reincorporate and provide a new charter for the city of Ackworth.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1497 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Tran of the 80th, Frye of the 122nd, and Washburn of the 144th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 1 of Chapter 2, Title 44 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to recording of deeds.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1498 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Gisler of the 121st, Frye of the 122nd, Washburn of the 144th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 45 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to application for homestead exemption.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1499 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Frye of the 122nd, Beckles of the 96th, Holly of the 116th. The bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 29.2 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to tax credits.
Ways and means.
House Bill 1500 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 100th, Park of the 107th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating a new charter for the city of Suwanee.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1501 by Representative Gisler of the 121st, Frye of the 122nd, McLean of the 109th, Tran of the 80th, Oliver of the 84th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 60, Title 36 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions applicable to counties and municipal corporations.
Natural resources and environment.
House Bill 1502 by Representative Kelly the 16th, Williamson of the 112th, Douglas the 78th. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 7 of Chapter 4, Title 49 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to medical assistance generally.
Health.
House Bill 1503 by Representative Fleming of the 114th and Crow of the 118th. Bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Covington ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1504 by Representative Crawford of the 89th, Tran of the 80th, Drennan of the 85th, Lupton of the 83rd, Mitchell of the 88th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the state court of DeKalb County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1505 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Donatucci of the 105th, Dempsey of the 13th, Hong of the 103rd, Silcox of the 53rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to competencies and core curriculum.
Education.
House Resolution 1522 by Representative Taylor, 173rd, Abstration of the 104th, Newton, 127th, Hawkins, the 27th, and Cooper, the 45th. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Evaluating Community Health.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1523 by Representative Jones, the 60th, Willis, the 55th. Resolution honoring the life of Mrs. Victoria Travis Jackson and dedicating a road in her memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1524 by Representative Bell, the 75th, Jackson, the 68th, Holly, the 116th, Fry, the 122nd, Parker, the 107th. Resolution urging the General Assembly to reschedule marijuana.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1525 by Representative Williams, the 148th, Osteen, the 169th, Powell, the 33rd. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. Teddy Ray Webb and dedicating a bridge in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1526 by Representative Mathis, the 133rd, Jaspers, the 11th, Powell, the 33rd, Smith, the 70th, Parrish, the 158th, and others. Resolution recognizing Representative James A. Bubber Epps Jr. and dedicating an interchange in his honor.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1527 by Representative McDonald of the 26th, Jaspers of the 11th, Powell of the 33rd, Parsons of the 45th, Cox of the 28th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Georgia Department of Transportation Contracting.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1528 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th. A resolution creating the Joint Study Committee on Higher Education Fiscal Stewardship.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1529 by Representative Ballard of the 147th, Irwin of the 32nd, Rice of the 139th, Hilton of the 48th, Dubnik of the 29th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on the College and Career Ready Performance Index.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1530 by Representative Roman of the 97th, Williams of the 168th, Hughley of the 141st, Holcomb of the 101st, Westbrook of the 163rd, and others. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to repeal the exception allowing involuntary servitude.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1531 by Representative Fincher of the 23rd, Jaspers of the 11th, Thomas of the 21st, Ridley of the 22nd, Scoggins of the 14th, and others. A resolution honoring the life of the Honorable Mandy Leah Ballinger and dedicating an interchange in her memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1532 by Representative Campbell of the 35th, Roberts of the 52nd, McQueen of the 61st, Alexander of the 66th, Taylor of the 173rd, and others. A resolution supporting the designation of September 2026 as National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1578 by Representative Yurt of the 152nd, Green of the 154th, Jokas, 151st, Parsons, the 44th, Smith, of the 138th. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. Herman Douglas Everett and dedicating a road in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1579 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Lupton of the 83rd, McQueen of the 61st, and Iowa of the 50th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Hospital Homebound Services.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1580 by Representative Jaspers, the 11th, Thomas, the 21st, Scoggins, the 14th, Byrd of the 20th, Fincher, the 23rd. A resolution recognizing Mayor A.R. Rick Roberts and dedicating an intersection in his honor.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1581 by Representative Werkheiser of the 157th, Deloach of the 167th, Hitchens of the 161st, and Burns of the 159th. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. Sidney R. Miles and dedicating a road in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1582 by Representative Rice of the 139th, Irwin of the 32nd, Dubnik of the 29th, Donatucci of the 105th, Hilton of the 48th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Veteran Teacher Compensation.
Special rules.
Senate Bill 240 by Senator Williams of the 25th, Brass of the 6th, Cowser of the 46th, Robertson of the 29th, Burns of the 23rd. Bill be taught an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to holidays and observances.
Special rules.
Senate Bill 437 by Senator Dixon of the 45th, Robertson of the 29th, Still of the 48th, Goodman of the 8th, and Watson of the 11th. Bill be taught an act to amend Part 2 of Article 1 of Chapter 2 of Title 8 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to state building, plumbing, and electrical codes.
Governmental affairs. Mr. Clerk, suspend for a moment. Thank you, members. Please continue, Mr. Clerk.
Senate Bill 443 by Senator Summers of the 13th, Albers the 56th, Dixon the 45th, Hickman the 4th, Ginn of the 47th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 11, and Title 16 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to offenses against public order.
Judiciary non-civil.
Senate Bill 447 by Senator Dixon the 45th, Still of the 48th, Anna Devarte of the 31st, Goodman of the 8th, Eccles of the 49th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 and Title 12 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to control of soil, erosion, and sedimentation.
Natural resources and environment.
Senate Bill 457 by Senator Dixon of the 45th, Cowser of the 46th, and Still of the 48th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to incorporate the city of Mulberry.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 463 by Senator Dolezal of the 27th, Walker of the 20th, Anna Devarte of the 31st, Robertson of the 29th, Still of the 48th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3, Title 44 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of specialized land transactions.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 468 by Senator Cowser to the 46th, Walker of the 20th, Anna Devarte of the 31st, Robertson of the 29th, Hatchett of the 50th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 1, and Title 42 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to Sexual Offender Risk Review Board.
Judiciary non-civil.
Senate Bill 471 by Senator Dolezal of the 27th, Hatchett of the 50th, Watson of the 1st, Summers of the 13th, Goodman of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing that no local board of education, local school superintendent, or school administrator.
Education.
Senate Bill 497 by Senator Dixon of the 45th, Still of the 48th, Summers of the 13th, Gooch of the 51st, Eccles of the 49th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 16, Chapter 2, and Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to elementary and secondary education students.
Education.
Senate Bill 527 by Senator Robertson of the 29th, Dixon of the 45th, Albers of the 56th, Harbin of the 16th, Hickman of the 4th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 1516.1 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to qualification requirements for sheriffs.
Public safety and homeland security.
Senate Bill 543 by Senator Williams, the 25th, Anderson, the 24th, and Strickland of the 42nd. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Roads and Revenues for Butts County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 544 by Senator Williams, the 25th, Anderson, the 24th, and Strickland of the 42nd. Bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from Butts County ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 545 by Senator Williams, the 25th, Anderson, the 24th, and Strickland of the 42nd. Bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from Butts County ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 560 by Senator Jones, the 10th, Jackson, the 41st, Anderson, the 43rd, Mangum of the 55th, Harrell of the 40th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to create and establish in DeKalb County, Georgia, districts from which the members of the County Board of Education shall be elected.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 567 by Senator Harbison of the 15th. The bill be titled an act to create the Ellaville-Schley County Parks and Recreation Authority.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 574 by Senator Hickman of the 4th. A bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Metter ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 575 by Senator Hickman of the 4th. Bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from City of Metter ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Resolution 800 by Senator Goodman of the 8th, Watson of the 11th, Eccles of the 49th, Sims of the 12th, and Anderson of the 24th. The bill be a resolution creating the Joint Study Committee on the Generational Sustainability of Family Farms.
Special rules.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. Clerk will read.
House Bill 1471 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, a bill relating to compulsory attendance relative to elementary and secondary school students. House Bill 1472 by Representative Lim of the 98th, a bill relating to imposition rate computation exemptions and credits for state income tax. House Bill 1473 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Ridley of the 6th, Franklin of the 160th, Scoggins of the 14th, and Chokus of the 151st, a bill relating to local government. House Bill 1474 by Representative Park of the 107th, Hughley of the 141st, Miller of the 62nd, Gessler of the 121st, Campbell of the 35th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to early care and learning. House Bill 1475 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Carpenter of the 4th, Chastain of the 7th, LaHood of the 175th, Evans of the 57th. A bill relating to benefits from government programs or civil or military service. House Bill 1476 by Representative Hong of the 103rd, Carpenter of the 4th, Fry of the 122nd, Crow of the 118th, and Cannon of the 172nd, a bill relating to tax credits for post-production expenditures. House Bill 1477 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Tran of the 80th, Reese of the 140th, Bell of the 75th, the bill relating to the State Board of Education. House Bill 1478 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Hawley of the 116th, Douglas of the 78th, and Cahan of the 81st, a bill relating to courts. House Bill 1479 by Representative Sanchez of the 42nd, Evans of the 57th, Campbell of the 35th, Holcomb of the 101st, Santos of the 117th, and others, a bill relating to specific periods of limitation. House Bill 1480 by Representative Sanchez of the 42nd, Roman of the 97th, Cannon of the 58th, Moore of the 91st, Park of the 107th, and others, a bill relating to public assistance. House Bill 1481 by Representative Cannon of the 58th, Bazemore of the 69th, Miller of the 62nd, Hawley of the 116th, a bill relating to holidays and observances. House Bill 1482 by Representative Martin of the 49th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding jails. House Resolution 1505 by Representative Jackson of the 128th, a resolution honoring the life of Mr. Geddes Cortez McKee Sr. and dedicating a bridge in his memory. House Resolution 1520 by Representative Jackson of the 128th, a resolution honoring the life of Mr. Hassan Rahim Glasgow and dedicating a road in his memory. House Resolution 1521 by Representative Jackson of the 128th, a resolution honoring the life of Mr. David Oscar Cummings and dedicating a road in his memory. Senate Bill 399 by Senator Harbin of the 16th, Albers of the 56th, Hatchett of the 50th, Burns of the 23rd, and Navarrete of the 31st, and others, a bill relating to personnel of emergency medical services. Senate Bill 441 by Senator Harbin of the 16th, Williams of the 25th, Hostetler of the 52nd, Albers of the 56th, Dickerson of the 21st, and others, a bill relating to local government investment pool. Senate Bill 470 by Senator Albers of the 56th, Robertson of the 29th, Bearden of the 30th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Payne of the 54th, and others, a bill relating to offenses against public order. Senate Bill 472 by Senator Hickman of the 4th, Walker of the 20th, Tillery of the 19th, Hostetler of the 52nd, and Sims of the 12th, and others, a bill relating to elementary and secondary education. Senate Bill 500 by Senator Hodges of the 3rd, Watson of the 1st, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Walker of the 20th, Harrell of the 40th, and others, a bill relating to the Georgia Board of Health Care Workforce. Senate Bill 513 by Senator Dickerson of the 21st, Walker of the 20th, and Navarrete of the 31st, Hickman of the 4th, Dixon of the 45th, and others, a bill relating to elementary and secondary education and driver's licenses. Senate Bill 535 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, a bill relating to mental health. Through second readers.
Outstanding.
Reports of standing committees, Mr. Clerk will read.
Representative Lauren McDonald, the 26th District Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration the following bills to the House and Senate and has instructed me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendations. House Bill 1317 do pass. House Bill 1424 do pass. House Bill 1435 do pass. House Bill 1453 do pass. Senate Bill 494 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Lauren McDonald, the 26th District Chairman. Representative Matt Barton of the 5th District, Vice Chairman of the Committee on Motor Vehicles, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Motor Vehicles has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1267 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Matt Barton of the 5th District, Vice Chairman. Representative Jones, the 25th District Chairman of the Committee on Technology and Infrastructure Innovation, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Technology and Infrastructure Innovation has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report same back to the House. Following recommendation, House Bill 1437 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Jones, the 25th District Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Okay, members, we postponed the roll call this morning. We're going to get to that now, so members will come to their desk. That would be great. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Leader Hughley. Have all members voted their presence in the chamber? All members voted their presence in the chamber. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. All right, members, if you'll come to order. We do have a local calendar this morning that we need to take up. Local calendar, all righty. Everyone come to your seats. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there's no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing no objection is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 1317 by Representative Horner III, City of Fort Oglethorpe. House Bill 1424 by Representative Chokus, the 151st, Sumter County. House Bill 1435 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, Town of Mount Airy. House Bill 1453 by Representative Werkheiser, the 157th, Jeff Davis County. And Senate Bill 494 by Senator Summers of the 13th, Irwin County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bills on the local calendar, the yeas are 166, the nay is 1, and these bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Members, yesterday on Tuesday, March the 3rd, the House failed to pass House Bill 717. The gentleman from the 104th served notice of a motion to reconsider the action of the House in failing to give House Bill 717 the requisite majority. Now is the time for the gentleman to pursue the motion if he so desires. Leader Illustration is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House reconsider its action in failing to pass House Bill 717.
On the gentleman's motion that the House reconsider its action in failing to give House Bill 717 a requisite majority, all those in favor of reconsideration will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. For what purposes, Chair Lady Cooper rise?
To make a motion.
A parliamentary inquiry would be in order now. She waves. Have all members now voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 159, the nays are 8. The motion carries and the House has reconsidered its action. The bill will go back on the general calendar. Also on Tuesday, March the 3rd, the House failed to adopt House Resolution 1114. The gentleman from the 146th served notice of a motion to reconsider the action of the House in failing to give House Resolution 1114 the requisite majority. Now is the time for the gentleman to pursue the motion if he so desires. For what purposes, Representative Blackman is recognized for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House reconsider its action on H.R. 1114.
On the gentleman's motion that the House reconsider its actions in failing to give House Resolution 1114 a requisite majority, all those in favor of reconsideration will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion that the House reconsider House Resolution 1114, the yeas are 97, the nays are 68. The motion carries and the House will reconsider this action. The resolution will go back on the general calendar. For what purposes? Representative Illustration, rise.
Make a motion.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill 717 be recommitted to the Rules Committee.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption. House Bill 717.
House Bill 717 by Representative Cooper, the 45th, and others to be entitled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 34, Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Medical Practice Act of the State of Georgia.
On the gentleman's motion that House Bill 717 be withdrawn from the calendar and recommitted to the Rules Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Thank you, members. We're moving on to morning orders. We have some visitors in our gallery who need to be recognized. We're going to allow you a solid minute, tad over, tad under, but we'll comply with the lights. We're going to recognize Representative Sharper, Representative Dexter Sharper, for our first morning order. Please give the gentleman in the well your attention and friends.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you so much. Guys, we have some very, very, very talented youth all across our Georgia, and we appreciate them, and we want to continue to support them. But we have a very, very special guest with us today. We have Miss Regan Moore, 16 years old when she was getting ready for the Miss Georgia Teen 2025. She was a rising junior at Hillgrove High School in Powder Springs. Reagan. But Reagan earned preliminary awards in both talent and evening gown during the 2025 competition. She showed her poise, her dedication, and her excellence. She went on to participate in the Mrs. Georgia's Teen 2025. And she recognized us very, very good, and we appreciate that. But I'm going to get her to stand in a little bit. But through her community service initiative, Dance, Fit, Uplift, Reagan used dance and movement to promote physical, emotional, and mental wellness among youth and senior citizens. She is here today with her parents and her grandparents. I want her to stand real quick because we got to get her back to school. So y'all, let's give her a big, big hand. And she has agreed to come over real quick and get a few photos with us so she can get back to school. And so we appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. So y'all can make it down to the 3rd floor elevators so y'all can do some photos. And briefly, quickly, we also have the Cancer Survivorship Awareness Day here at the Capitol with Reign Over Cancer. And we have Representative Bazemore to do something for us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing us to recognize Reign Over Cancer. And as a cancer survivor, I am so grateful that Rain Stevens continues to shine a light on individuals that are survivors of cancer as she has gone through herself. So we also have Dr. Jackie Walters here, and she's going to receive an Outstanding Citizen, Georgia Citizen Award. May this outstanding citizen be awarded every courtesy as a goodwill ambassador from Georgia in her travels to other states, to nations beyond the borders of the United States of America, or wherever she may hereafter travel or reside. Thank you for your service to our state. And we will meet them in the Anna Room on the 3rd floor to take pictures. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Congratulations to all those folks. Chairman Bonner is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to recognize a very special group in the gallery today. As many of you know, the United States has 8 uniformed services. That includes our 6 armed forces and 2 of our additional uniformed services. Those are the United States Public Health Service Commissioned Corps and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Commissioned Officer Corps. Today in the gallery, we have members of the United States Public Health Service Commission Corps. These brave men and women respond to national health emergencies and natural disasters both here and abroad and serve vulnerable and underserved communities throughout this nation and around the globe. If you would, please stand and be recognized and welcome to the People's House.
Good to have y'all. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you being here. Keep up the good work. Representative Tran, gentleman's recognized. Chairlady Cooper, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I'd like to recognize some organizations from the AAPI community, and I have a resolution for Asian American Advocacy Day. And I'll be as brief as I can. Whereas Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta, Asian American Advocacy Fund, Asian American Voices for Education, Georgia AAPI Hub, Raksha, and We Love Beaufort Highway, Eastern Muslim and South Asian American communities in Georgia, including teachers, schools, parents, students, and survivors of violence, And whereas these organizations work to amplify community voices and to build and promote a politically and civically conscious and engaged Asian American community in Georgia, and whereas these organizations have worked to strengthen the nonprofit ecosystem in Georgia, and their work enhances the social, cultural, political, and economic well-being of AAPI communities across Georgia, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the members of this body recognize and commend the contributions of the Asian American Advancing Justice, Asian American Advocacy Fund, Asian American Voices for Education, Georgia API Hub, Raksha, and We Love Beaufort Highway on Asian American Advocacy Day. Think if you'll please stand up. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair Lady Cooper is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we have a group of very special guests from the Georgia Association of Prader-Willis Syndrome. If you're with us in the gallery, would you please stand up and let us recognize you? Thank you very much to this family. Thank you. You know, the Prader-Willis syndrome is a very complex syndrome, and it requires 24-hour supervision of these patients. Mainly, of course, young people, but as they age, they have an insatiable appetite and will eat and eat and eat and eat, causing multiple problems such as diabetes, unless they have total supervision right now, and they often have other disabling disabilities. The group is a very strong group working with those parents right now and trying to bring awareness to this very rare disease in Georgia. Thank you for all you do and for all the support and education you do for the families with these patients. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
No, you did great.
Welcome. Thanks for what y'all do as well. We appreciate you. And thanks for being here. House needs to hear this. I'm sure you all are anticipating this as much as I am. Chairman Green's going to give us an update on CIS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's been a long night, but I want to express what the Speaker has said many times in here. We're a family. And my family supported me yesterday in so
Chairman,
many
pause
ways.
a second. Let's all stand because we're going to have a moment of gratitude here when he gets to the end. And let's recognize him. The gentleman can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was saying, my family came through for me yesterday. So many of you rallied around me and took care of me. My seatmate said I turned just as white as I could be when I heard the news. She's my last sibling. I've lost 3. And Mr. Speaker, your wife, the First Lady of this house, she took control yesterday. She took control of me, calmed me down, and your prayer was just right on spot. The love that I saw and the love that I felt from all of you yesterday carried me through. She was operated on last night, 4 hours. She's back in surgery this morning, and she's a little messed up. But hearing from y'all and the prayers that y'all have stated is so uplifting, and I'm passing them right on to her. God is in control. But I wanted to tell y'all, I love you, and I love all the things that you did for me yesterday, every single one of you. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Prayers for Retta. I'll tell you all, some of y'all were in the Rules Committee meeting this morning, but you missed an absolutely marvelous chaplain of the day who spoke very clearly to what Chairman Green just said. We know who's in charge. So if those of you on the Rules Committee, I hope you'll go back and look at the chaplain of the day that we had this morning. He did an absolutely outstanding job. Continued prayers for her. Chairman Thomas, recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recognize a group up in the gallery today, the Gina McLeod Memorial Foundation. The Gina McLeod Memorial Foundation is a grassroots organization founded in the belief that motorcyclists have the right to enjoy the way of life that is safe, without fear and harm or retaliation, all road users enjoy. With working and through the state organizations such as the Georgia Motorcycle Safety Alliance and national organizations, Motorcycle Rider Foundation and the American Motorcycle Association, they're here to ensure we can that their way of life and motorcycles continues on. If I can just get you all to stand real fast. Thank you for being here. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the well.
And Mr. Speaker, they support my moped bill too. They support mopeds too. And mopeds as well.
Good to have y'all. I saw your motorcycles outside, I think. Good to see you. Appreciate all the good things you do in your communities too. Thank you. Representative Ford is recognized for a morning order. And friends,
they are. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning I would like to welcome Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College to the People's House. For over a century, ABAC has been instrumental in preparing students. For over a century, ABAC has been instrumental in preparing students to excel in agriculture, natural resources, and rural industries, which form the backbone of our state's economy. ABAC plays a crucial role in ensuring that we have the workforce, innovation, and leadership necessary to sustain Georgia's leading industry for generations to come. And it is proven that ABAC students usually return to their rural communities. As a member of the Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College Foundation Board of Trustees and a former chair of that foundation, I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to President Tracy Brundage and representatives from ABAC. Members, would you help me welcome them?
thank you. Welcome all our ABAC folks. Just had Dr. Brundage here. She's doing a great job there leading, and some good students, great students down at ABAC. Thank you all for what ABAC does. One of our leading institutions. Representative Roman and Representative Derek Jackson. You have other friends too, or it's just two of you?
Yep, I got a couple more.
You got a couple more friends?
I got a lot. They just, they're
I don't know how
shy.
much. I'm sure you have to pay them, but you'll be fine with your friends.
I don't have enough money to pay for friends.
The ladies recognize the gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today we have members of the Ismaili community with us in the gallery and rotunda to mark both the month of Ramadan and Nowruz. The Ismaili community members are our neighbors, educators, healthcare providers, entrepreneurs, and civic leaders. Through Ismaili Civic, they partner with organizations like the Red Cross, the Atlanta Community Food Bank, and Hands On Atlanta to address real needs across our state. Today, they are here in both the South Wing as well as in the Rotunda, exhibiting the Aga Khan Award for Architecture. Please join me in welcoming them today, and please rise so we can welcome you. Thank you. Hey! Great group. Welcome to the People's House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hey, nice recognition. Thank you all for being here. Saw everybody coming in earlier this morning, so we hope you've had a good day with us at the Capitol. Appreciate you being in the people's house, y'all's house. We're good to have you. Thank you for your contribution to our state and your communities. Taking care of your neighbors, right? Good stuff. Thank y'all. Chairman Powell. Leader Illustration, Representative Gaines and Representative Wade. I don't see this. Representative Gaines, let's pause just for a second.
Yes, sir.
That's the most running he's done in months, so I know he hadn't been running. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Exciting day today. We have the Georgia Association of College Republicans with us, conservative students from across the state. If you'll please rise if you're in the gallery, who do a great job on our college campuses. If you would please join me, House, in recognizing the Georgia Association of College Republicans. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good to have our young people engaged. Thank you for being here. Representative Flanoy. And some friends, you want to go ahead and do it? The gentleman's recognized. Please give the gentleman your attention. Gentleman's recognized. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning, I am happy to welcome those students and administrators from Clayton State University, as today we are recognizing March the 4th, 2026 as Clayton State University Day here at the state capitol. There are a couple of things that we want to highlight. First and foremost, Clayton State was named number 21 by the U.S. News and World Reports in social mobility, making a third year in a row increase. Also, Clayton State University earned national recognition for its commitment to first-generation student access by the First Gen Forward Network. And students in the Clayton State University School of Nursing earned a 100% pass rate on the most recent NCLEX Nursing Board exam. And so we have a resolution for them, Mr. Speaker, and so now therefore let it be resolved that the members of this body commend Clayton State University and recognize March 4th, 2026 as Clayton State University Day here at the state capitol. If there's anyone here from Clayton State, please rise and let us recognize you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Nice acknowledgement. Chairman Powell. Chairman Powell is recognized for a morning order. Gentleman's recognized, and friends. Boy, you're doing better.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and ladies and gentlemen. We've dropped in a resolution honoring the licensed professional counselors and acknowledging tomorrow is their day at the Capitol. You'll have about 300 of those professionals here tomorrow, so look forward to seeing them when they look you up. But if it, let's just pay them proper respect for what they do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That completes our morning orders. Members, we'll move on to the rules calendar. Moving on to the rules calendar. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 1408, 1408?
House Bill 1408 by Representative Camp of the 135th and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 19 of Title 31 and Chapters 40 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to control of rabies and veterinarians and veterinary technicians. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair Lady Camp is recognized to speak to House Bill 1408.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring to you today House Bill 1408. This bill does one thing. It allows licensed veterinary technicians under the direct supervision of a veterinarian to administer rabies vaccines to animals who require inoculations. And Mr. Speaker, that's what the bill does. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Boy, that was good. You know, I used to sell those when I was in farm supply business. Did you know that?
No, sir, I did not until you just told me, but I know that rabies is a very horrible situation. If a human is bitten by an animal, the shots someone has to get are extremely painful, and there's a lot of stress involved. So I appreciate you selling those back in the day.
So one more tidbit. I've spoken to some of our pilots that do business and with other entities. They're flying in Alabama and Tennessee administering rabies vaccines from air because of the wild population, which is a real problem. So thank you for this bill.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll yield the well.
She yielded the well. I knew I could talk her into it. Good bill. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? No objection. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1408, the yeas are 170, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk will read the caption of House Bill 1118.
House Bill 1118 by Representative Donatucci, the 105th and others to be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 20 of Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to personnel administration so as to provide 80 hours of maternal birth leave. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Public and Community Health. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Representative Donatucci is recognized to present House Bill 1118. Ladies recognized.
Mr. Speaker, members, HB 1118 increases paid leave for birth mothers from 6 weeks to 9 weeks. It creates a new category of leave for birth mothers, maternal birth leave. It must be used in the first 3 weeks immediately following the birth of a child for the recuperation. State employees must have employed for a period of 6 months before using this leave. There's no direct cost to the state because a full salary has already been funded, and employees would be paid from the maternal birth leave bucket using their existing salary. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I finish my bill. Are there any questions?
Lady, yield for a question. Representative Jasmine Clark to your left, recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
In your presentation, you said that this is for new birth mothers, and I love this policy, absolutely. Is this specifically for state employees, or is this just now a general rule for all employees in the state of Georgia?
This is for state employees and for teachers. We want to encourage our teachers and our state employees to come back.
So it's all state employees, including teachers, not just teachers?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, it's certain state, you have to read the bill, okay. But it's certain state employees, yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate this legislation. I think it's a step in the right direction. Thank you so much for bringing the bill.
Thank you. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Lady has no further questions. Lady's yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1118, the yeas are 170, the nays are 0. This bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of House Bill 1187? 1187.
House Bill 1187 by Representative Hong of the 103rd and others to be entitled an act to amend Article 8 of Chapter 11 of Title 9 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to provisional and final remedies and special proceedings so as to prohibit, as contrary to the public policy of this state, any contract or agreement that has the purpose or effect of concealing the details related to a claim of childhood sexual abuse. This bill then referred to the Committee on Judiciary. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Representative Hong is recognized to present the bill. Please give the lady in the well your attention. Lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I am honored to carry House Bill 1187, or Trey's Law, on behalf of the Governor, the First Lady, and the Grace Commission. This bill prohibits the use of non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, in civil settlements involving child sexual abuse, and human trafficking. These NDAs silence survivors of sexual abuse in civil settlement agreements and forces victims to choose between compensation and their voice. This bill will free survivors to share their stories, allow survivors to receive mental health support. It will help uncover patterns of institutional silence and negligence, and it will deter future abuse by removing the tools used to hide misconduct. This bill is named after Trey Carlock. He attended a summer camp where a lot of our Georgia children attended, and he was sexually abused at that summer camp. He ended up, during his civil settlement, entered into a non-disclosure agreement. He was unable to speak about his abuse. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. He was unable to speak about his abuse or get help for his abuse, and eventually ended up taking his life. We want to make sure that, that our survivors have a voice. That's the bill, and I ask for your support, and I will take any questions.
You do have a question, Representative Stinson, in the back, a little bit to your left. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Is it not true that I'm very grateful to First Lady Kemp for the work that she's done across this state when it comes to human trafficking?
Absolutely. I've carried several bills for the First Lady, and this is one of them, and it's great. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your work, and I look forward to voting on this bill.
Thank you.
The lady has no further questions.
Thank you. I ask for your favorable consideration of this bill, and I yield the well.
Ladies, yield the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Pro Tem? Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1187, the yeas are 174, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 1284? 1284.
House Bill 1284 by Representative Silcox of the 53rd and others to be entitled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to local boards of education so as to provide for the awarding of high school diplomas to high school students who are at the end of life. This bill having referred to the Committee on Education. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair Lady Silcox is recognized to present House Bill 1284.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I am delighted this morning to bring you House Bill 1284. House Bill 1284 was actually brought to us by Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and Speaker Burns asked me to carry this bill because as a senior in high school, I had cancer, and I'm very grateful to be a survivor of that. But I will tell you that the testimony that we had in committee was unbelievable, and I'll just get to the bill first. This bill would, on the written request of any high school student, the written request of a parent with the proper medical documentation showing that their child is at the end of their life, would require high school to grant them a high school diploma. And like I said, we were very privileged to have the Milton family in committee with the mother who testified, as well as her 3 siblings, all holding a picture of their brother who had passed from cancer in high school and did not receive his diploma. And she made an incredible point because she said that, you know, a certificate is just an acknowledgement of attendance, but a diploma is an acknowledgement of achievement. And that being in high school and going to school despite his illness gave him such a sense of normalcy and that he was a regular person still. And I can truly identify with that. So that was why near the end of the committee meeting, there was a motion made, in which I was 100% in favor of naming this the Jacoby Milton Act. And so that is why that was added at the very beginning of the bill. I would ask for your very favorable consideration for all the kids who suffer from any terminal illness in high school. And I would welcome any questions.
Lady has a question, Representative Barnes. To your left, and Representative Barnes, I apologize for missing you a few
No
moments
problem.
ago.
It was a good question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Thank you for your story and thank you for this bill. My question is, does it matter what grade you're in, or do they have to be seniors?
You do have to be in high school.
No.
But it doesn't matter what grade.
In high school.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I'll yield the well. Thank you very much.
Lady has yielded the well. She had no further questions. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1284, the yeas are 172, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of House Bill 1402? 1402.
House Bill 1402 by Representative Hagan and the 156 and others being titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 to Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to health of students so as to require vision and hearing screening for all public school students enrolled in pre-kindergarten through third grade. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Education. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Members, we had a big education day here last week. This bill goes along perfectly with what we're trying to do with literacy and promote education in our state. So, hope you'll pay attention to the lady as she presents the bill. Representative Hagan, Chair Lady Hagan is recognized to present House Bill 1402.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the Speaker mentioned, we've been working very hard in this body over the past few years to improve our children's literacy rates. And I do thank you for all the hard work that you've all done here. And I'm very excited and honored to bring this measure before you for your approval to help continue to move us in the right direction for our children. I wanted to share a few facts with you that I found out in doing research for this bill that I didn't know before. 80% of learning between the ages of 0 and 12 is vision dependent. 80%. And the data that we found shows that between 20 and 30% of children in that age range have vision issues. But the good news is that almost all of those can be corrected if they're identified. So knowing that our children have these issues with their vision and how dependent they are on their vision to learn, and particularly to learn to read, this measure, it's not just a policy issue. To me, it feels more like an obligation that we've got to address this for our children. So, the bill would require all public school students to receive vision and hearing screenings annually in grades pre-K through 3. This screening would happen at their school, at their public school, and it would be administered by trained school personnel or in cooperation with a duly qualified third party. Department of Public Health is responsible for training, for setting all protocols and for the housing of the aggregate data that would be collected through the course of this screening. And a very important part is that by December 1st annually, they will report to the General Assembly so that we can see that data and compare it to our test scores, see what our progress is here, and see what further work we need to do for our children. There is a grant that would be available to each school system to purchase the necessary equipment to administer these screenings if necessary. There was an addition to Section 2 of the bill that requires written notification to be sent by mail to parents or guardians if a student is not reading on grade level. So in some ways it's a simple bill, but in other ways it has the potential to be incredibly impactful for our student as we continue to work on these literacy issues in our schools. Mr. Speaker, that is the bill.
We were finding a lost item, so that's done. So you have a couple of questions. Chairman Irwin to your right is recognized for a question.
Great, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Is it not true that the Education Committee has been working very hard on all parts of literacy in this state for multiple years?
Yes, it's absolutely true.
Further question?
Yes, sir.
Is it not true that we've had this discussion at how being able to see the board, being able to hear the teacher has a dramatic impact, especially on early learning and literacy?
Absolutely.
Thank you for this bill and your effort.
Representative Buckner is recognized for a question.
Does the gentlelady yield?
Absolutely.
It's my understanding that since the late 1970s, 1980s, a vision, hearing, and dental certificate was required for school registration. Does this replace that?
No, it doesn't. I think you're referring to Form 3300. Talked to DPH about that extensively, and they said this does not impact 3300 at all.
Okay, so they'll do both.
If that's what is being required, then they would do both. But this doesn't address 3300 at all, because this would all happen at school, and it would all be reported directly to DPH. So there's no Form 3300 involved with this.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Cummings, Representative Terry Cummings is recognized
Thank you,
to your
Chairman.
left.
Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
You and I have spoken because I'm also a member of the Lions Club.
Yes.
And is it not true that doing these vision screenings is one of my favorite activities?
Yes, thank you for sharing that with me. We're both Lions members and have been able to do these screenings with our students at early elementary and seeing the impact, and also seeing that it is startling how many of them fail that screening and do need to be referred to see an optometrist for glasses.
That's the sad part.
Yes.
And my one concern is whenever I've gone with the Lions Club, we go during the day, particularly in the morning. And I noticed that this is mandating after school. Is there some flexibility in that?
It's at school. It's not after school. It's just to take place at their school.
At their school,
At their
okay.
school.
Okay.
While they're there. So we felt like that would be the best place to capture them
Absolutely,
and get
yeah.
it done, to make sure that every student in our public schools, pre-K through 3, are being screened for vision and hearing, to make sure that if they have any additional needs or a need for additional help there, that they would be able to receive it.
Well, I thank you for bringing this bill. I thank you for the amendment to make sure that we can keep participating in it, because it's pretty easy to learn how to work the machines. And this is just a very good bill, and I will be voting for it. Thank you.
May I comment?
Yes.
Thanks to Lions, both of you, and what the Lions clubs are doing to help with the vision. It's extraordinary. Thank you all for y'all's work. We want to continue to work with you and support y'all as well in this effort. Representative Jasmine Clark is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes.
I kind of want to follow up on a question that was asked earlier. So currently, right now, most of our K through 12 students already have to get a hearing and vision screening at their doctor. And so I guess for clarity for parents, they go to the doctor, they get their hearing and vision screening, and then they'll go to school and get another hearing and vision screening. Is that the way this will
Pre-K
work?
through 3. Yes.
So they'll have to just get it twice.
Yes.
One from the doctor, and then
there is a provision where they can opt out if they don't want to have them receive it twice. But what we understand from DPH and from some of the schools that we've talked to is that there's a need to do it at the school to make sure every student is screened. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's worth it to identify any issues that are hindering their learning, to take that time at school.
Yes. Does the gentlelady further yield?
Of course.
I absolutely agree with that, and I think it's very important that we get 100% coverage of screenings. I guess my only concern is parent confusion on what they need to do before, because it's always an anxiety-ridden time of the year, what they need to do before at their child's physical or their annual versus what's going to be done at the school. And so I would contemplate like maybe addressing the form that they already have to get filled out, because if this is already going to be done at the school, I feel like we now no longer need the form.
Well, that definitely be up to DPH and schools to determine how they want to handle that form. And you may have a good point. I haven't had kids in school in a long time, but that may be something that they need to look at and see if it still needs to be a part of that form.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, if there are no further questions, I would be happy to yield the well and ask for your favorable consent.
You have a couple more, but we do have a speaker, but I have a question. So I think part of the problem is in some areas of our state, they may have a form, they may not have a form, but children are not being screened. And the other part of it is, if the lady will yield and answer this one for me, I think our vision changes. So that's one of the things, too, we'll certainly encourage our young people to be able to become literate, because they'll be able to see.
Yes, sir. That's right. And that was one of the reasons why we included every grade level between pre-K and third grade, is we want to capture every student. And so if we have students that come in from out of state and hadn't been screened recently, they would be captured that school year as well, to make sure that we're addressing any vision issues that they may have.
I appreciate your presentation. You have a question or two, but if you want to yield, we'll let you do that as well.
Mr. Speaker, I will do that at your discretion.
We'll take one from Representative Osteen,
Okay.
since she's in the medical field, if the lady's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
As a former school nurse in Coffee County and in Jeff Davis County, I used to do eye, ear, and dentals. They've added nutrition since I was a school nurse. The issue is they're only screened right when they enter school, pre-K. So we let every other grade go. This bill addresses pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, and third grades, which we're concerned about our literacy scores, right?
That's right.
My daughter Abby, who is working in the leader's office, her vision problem didn't show up till second grade, and she could not see, she could not read. So thankfully, this bill will address that. DPH does a great job doing this, and so will our school nurses. Thank you for the bill.
Thank you.
Lady, you yield for one more. I owe one of our members a question, and I want to make up for an oversight that occurred earlier. Representative Barnes, I'm going to make up to you now. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes, I do.
Thank you for this bill. I just want to understand, are the kids taking 2 screenings? I know she already asked this question, but I'm just doing it from my understanding. Are the kids taking 2 screenings? And if they are, do we have to pay for 2 screenings?
Well, you wouldn't be paying for this at all. This would be administered to the students at every public school, pre-K through third grade. There's no cost to anyone on that. As far as what someone does at their doctor's appointment, this bill does not address that at all.
Okay, and just for, does the gentlelady further yield?
Sure.
Thank you. For clarification, right now, the bill that we already have, our screenings are K through 12 or just optional at your doctor's office?
Again, this bill doesn't address what anybody's doing at their doctor's office. This bill just requires the vision and hearing screenings if they're a public school student, pre-K through 3.
Nonetheless, I appreciate the bill. I'm just trying to understand just when. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, members. And I would ask for your favorable consideration. I yield the well.
the form is not K through 12, it's just when they enter school. We have Representative Berry, who would like to speak to the bill. The gentleman is recognized to speak to House Bill 1402.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm excited about House Bill 1402 and will happily vote in favor of it today. First, I want to thank Chair Lady Hagan for understanding the intersections between vision and hearing and a child's ability to learn. And thank you to Chair Irwin as well for working with me to amend this and to emphasize the importance of literacy in this as well. I want to share a quick personal story to help understand why this matters. In my first year in the classroom, I had a student, and in the nicest Christian terms, he was the worst. He acted out constantly, no matter how often I moved his seat or kept him for lunch attention or called his mom. But when he did his work, it was all A's, and he understood every assignment. Then on what felt like the millionth lunch attention, I asked him, "Why won't you just sit down?" And he said honestly and frankly, "I can't see the board." So I moved him to the front of my classroom, and still no change in his behavior. So I asked him again, "I thought you couldn't see, so I moved you to the front, what's going on?" And he said, "Mr. Berry, I can't see." So my school partnered to bring an eye doctor to campus and give him a free pair of glasses, and since then he sat down, he did the work, and continued to excel. This is the power of good governance and community working together to remove barriers that our children never asked for. Mr. Speaker, too often in this body, we debate outcomes without addressing the root causes. We talk about test scores, we talk about discipline, about literacy rates, but how many of our students are struggling not because they lack the ability, but because they quite literally cannot see or hear the instruction in front of them? That young man was never a bad kid. He was a brilliant student in navigating the classroom the only way he knew how while dealing with an unmet need. And I think about how many other students across Georgia are being mislabeled or misdisciplined or left behind simply because no one caught something as basic as vision or a hearing issue. House Bill 1402 is about early intervention. It's about dignity. It's about ensuring that when a child walks into a classroom, we are actually giving them a fair shot to succeed. This is also about literacy, because if a child cannot see the board, cannot hear instruction, and cannot fully engage in the learning environment, then all of our conversations about reading proficiency and grade level benchmarks fall flat. We cannot expect outcomes without first ensuring access, which is why we thought to require reporting on a child's literacy proficiency as well, because as the old African proverb says, it takes a village. The biggest frustration I have is the hard conversation of telling a parent that their child cannot read proficiently. It's a blow, it's sad, and something that no parent wants to hear. It makes it harder to have nothing to show parents. This bill fixes that and ensures that parents, teachers, administrators are all at the table to help our children succeed. This bill is a reminder that sometimes the most impactful policies are not the flashiest ones, but the ones that meet children where they are and give them what they need to thrive. So today we have an opportunity to do something simple, practical, and deeply meaningful. We have an opportunity to prevent frustration, to unlock potential, and to change the trajectory of a child's life. And I urge all colleagues to join me in voting yes in favor of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I will yield the well.
Gentleman has no questions. Gentleman's yielded the well. That completes our discussion on House Bill 1402. Let's see how it turns out. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1402, the yeas are 172, the nay is 1. This bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of House Bill 1302.
House Bill 1302 by Representative Gamble, the 15th, and others to be entitled an act to amend Title 20, 34, and 50 of the Official Code of Georgia and its edited relating to education, labor and industrial relations, and state government so as to provide for the reconstitution of the Office of Student Achievement. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Education. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Floor Leader Gamble is recognized to present the bill. Representative Gamble.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, it's good to be with you today to present a bill that I'm real excited about. It's the third iteration of legislation you're familiar with that we have passed over the past several sessions that deal with our workforce and educating our young people. And as y'all know, having gone through Cartersville High School myself and been a CTA student, now having my own children who are coming through these programs and are benefiting from them, this just builds on the work that we've done already to make sure that Georgia's doing everything that we can to prepare our students for high-demand, high-skill careers. But the Education and Workforce Strategy Act is the final piece of Governor Kemp's workforce development package. This aims to just do the important work done over the past several years. This legislation does this by designating the Governor's Office of Student Achievement, GOSA, as the lead coordinator to bring together the agencies that have participated in the Governor's Workforce Strategy team. What does that mean? Simply, that means all the agencies that are already doing this work, the Technical College, the Georgia Department of Education CTAE Division, the Department of Labor, the University System of Georgia, and of course the State Workforce Investment Board. This is the same group that envisioned and implemented our Georgia Match program, which y'all remember is what sends our seniors a letter in their senior year telling them where they're eligible for admission at the technical college or the university system close to their home, and then how they can go about applying and getting access to the HOPE grant or to the HOPE scholarship. And also the state's high demand career list and the Top State for Talent Act. You know, we've identified these top careers, these high demand careers. We've encouraged schools to implement those programs. They're not forced to do it, but they're incentivized to do it so that our students are hopefully pursuing those high demand careers. So to align these new responsibilities, GOSA would just be renamed the Governor's Office of Education and Workforce Strategy. The State Workforce Development Board would be assigned to the reconstituted Governor's Office of Student Achievement, and this office would work with TCSG and DOE to submit unified federal workforce plans. So this already exists, it's just being renamed, and they're going to help bring all of the players together to develop our State Workforce Investment Act plan and the Perkins Plan. These unified plans, along with state workforce data and reports, would be incorporated into a comprehensive state workforce plan prepared by the office. Lastly, this legislation, along with the governor's budget recommendation, supports the development of a new workforce navigator tool to assist Georgia students and job seekers in finding their best fit when it comes to continuing their education or pursuing a career in this state. Ultimately, if we want to maintain our status as the top state for business, we must have the workforce ready to fill the new jobs that are coming to our state. This bill ensures that that is the case and that we will play a major role in making Georgia the top state for talent. That, in essence, is what this bill does, and I'm certainly happy to answer any questions that you may have about this House bill that's in front of you.
Gentlemen, yield for questions.
I yield.
Representative Barrett. Representative Carter Barrett is recognized for a question.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to call the question.
I'm not going to recognize the gentleman for that motion. Representative Barnes is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I yield.
Thank you. Does this bill, how many governor's education authorities do we have?
So this is purely just a collaboration of the agencies that already exist. And so those agencies are the ones already fulfilling the work of technical education in our state. That's the Department of Ed, the technical college system, the university system, the Department of Labor, and of course the State Workforce Investment Board. So those already exist. All this does is create this group that will help organize the submission of our state workforce plans, which is WIOA and Perkins.
Thank you.
With that, Mr. Speaker, I would ask for this body's favorable consideration on House Bill 1302 and appreciate your favorable consideration.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? We do have a minority report on this bill. Have a minority report on House Bill 1302. Thank you. Minority report is waived. Thank you. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. For what purpose? Representative Glaze, rise.
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry, ma'am.
Is it not true that I met with the governor's office? We went through this bill and we actually put the org chart together. And we really absolutely can see the flow of how all of those particular individual state agencies now can work together, not in isolation, but in collaboration, and that this is the icing on the cake for workforce development in the state of Georgia, and I will be supporting this bill.
I knew there was some excellent input on this bill, and I figured it came from you. So I appreciate your input. For what purpose, Representative Carter, rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that Labor had an issue with this bill in subcommittee, and by the time we were in full committee, we had worked it out?
I like it when we work together. Appreciate and I recognize your inquiry to be true. All members voted. All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1302, the yeas are 172, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Members, we're going to go a little bit longer and then we'll break for lunch. So we're going to take up House Bill 1275. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of House Bill 1275?
House Bill 1275 by Representative Newton of the 127th and others to be entitled an act to amend Article 2 of Chapter 34, Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to medical practice so as to ensure that stem cell therapies are used to advance medical treatments and improve patient outcomes in an ethical manner. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Health. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Representative Newton is recognized. Chairman Newton is recognized to present House Bill 1275.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring before you a bill, House Bill 1275. In recent years, there's been some significant medical advancements in the use of stem cell-based therapies. These therapies are being studied and utilized for pain mitigation in joints, for wound healing, and other much-needed processes. Currently, Georgia law, as of now, does permit the distribution of stem cell-based products within the state, but they can only be manufactured outside of the state. Certain states, most recently Utah and our neighbors to the south, Florida, have passed legislation allowing these regenerative medicine manufacturers to distribute, make, and sell these products in their states, which currently Georgia-based physicians or patients do not have the same in-state access. That's what HB 1275 corrects. It allows Georgia-based companies to ethically source, manufacture, and distribute stem cell products in Georgia. But most importantly, by improving access to these treatments, by reducing reliance on out-of-state providers, Georgia patients can better benefit from these new and innovative medical treatments. Mr. Speaker, that's the bill. I would appreciate your favorable consideration and glad to answer any questions.
Gentleman has no questions.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your favorable support. I yield the will.
Gentleman has yielded well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1275, the yeas are 172, the nays are 0. This bill, having received a requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 990?
House Bill 990 by Representative Saints of the 180th and others to be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 2 of Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to the Department of Public Safety so as to provide for the creation of a program to assist former handlers and adopters of retired law enforcement dogs with veterinary care costs. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chairman Saines is recognized to present House Bill 990.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know this body is hungry for good policy, and this does just such by creating a structure to take care of some of the finest and furriest of our law enforcement heroes through a retired canine program. It leverages private dollars And through the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, it's modeled under the Florida legislation passed in 2022. I want to appreciate Governor Kemp and specifically First Lady Marty Kemp, who's been instrumental in legislation like this. Their policy team has helped with the substitute, and that is the premise of the bill, to support our retired law enforcement canines when they have severe medical expenses after they've served the people of our state and ensured for the public safety. If there is no questions, Mr. Speaker, I will yield the well.
Gentleman has no questions. Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which is favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 990, the yeas are 171, the nays are 0. This bill has received a requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 961, 961?
House Bill 961 by Representative Powell, the 33rd, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 20E of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated the Surprise Billing Consumer Protection Act, so as to provide for insurance coverage for certain out-of-network ambulance transportation services. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Insurance. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chairman Allen Powell is recognized to present House Bill 961.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and ladies and gentlemen of the House. I bring to you today House Bill 961. This is a Consumer Protection Act, or surprise billing. That seems to be the most common term that's being used.
Thank you, members.
Or surprise billing is being commonly used for emergency transport services. You know, we've heard more and more every year about surprise billing for our constituents and consumers, and this deals with those emergency transport services. What this does, ladies and gentlemen, this regulates how the health care plans reimburse ambulance providers for emergency transport services when those patients, and limits how much the patients can be charged. This requires that health plans treat emergency ambulance transport as a covered service when it's requested by a health care provider or a first responder. For in-network services, they have to reimburse at the local established rates, and if there is no such rate, then they will reimburse at 300% of the Medicare rate. This also requires that the insurance providers remit payment within 30 days, or if there's not a clean claim or there's questions about the claim, then they have to send within 30 days a request for clarification of that. Mr. Speaker, I would encourage the people to vote for this. We don't hear a lot about these emergency transport services. Where this comes from is a constituent who had called 911 for emergency transport. They had sent a private ambulance service to him, and when he got a bill for a 10-mile trip, it was $4,500. ladies and gentlemen, do something for those, and God forbid if you or your family ever has to call an emergency transport. But this is a surprise billing for that. And I would certainly ask for your support, and we'll be glad to answer any questions.
Gentleman has some questions. Representative Al, in the back to your left, all the way in the back.
No doubt.
Thank you. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes.
Thanks. Mr. Chairman, isn't it true that the Georgia General Assembly passed a landmark Surprise Medical Billing Act in 2020 in a bipartisan fashion, overwhelmingly out of both chambers, and the only thing that Surprise Medical Billing bill left out was protections for ground ambulance transports, which this bill now comes back and addresses?
You're absolutely right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you.
Representative Seabaugh to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Certainly.
Mr. Chairman, is it fair to say that this legislation provides clarity for insurers, protection for patients, and stability for emergency medical service providers?
You're absolutely right.
It's a good bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are in need of an emergency transport and you've called 911 or something like that, normally you don't have time to negotiate rates. You don't have time to ask them what it's going to cost because you want to get to the emergency room or to a provider. So this is basically, as the two questions had said, this is an emergency transport surprise billing bill.
Gentleman yield.
Yes, sir.
Chairman Dickey to your right is recognized for a question.
Does gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for bringing this bill. It's long overdue. I had a similar situation with constituent on our state health benefit plan. Same situation, excessive billing for mild transport to emergency room. And thank you. This bill is much needed.
Thank you so much.
Representative Stinson in the back down the center aisle to your left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Is it not true that I am going to vote for your bill, but I do want to make sure that those that are in this chamber and those that are watching remember the cold, rainy night in December of 2020, that an ambulance that was transporting my late husband from Macon, Georgia to Savannah broke down on the way to Savannah Hospital.
Chair Lady Taylor for her help on this bill, and Chairman Lunston, Chairman of the Insurance Committee. But I also like to thank all of those professional government ambulance services. When we set this at 300%, I mean, it had been negotiated in a lot of cases, but we have a problem in the maintenance and the care and the training, because we've got some of the best professional EMTs in the country right here in Georgia, but that cost goes with the burden of the taxpayers. So that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of those that I just mentioned for their participation in this bill.
Gentleman has one final question from Chairman Parsons to your left.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Isn't it true that I do totally support your legislation and support your work on it? I know you've had to put some time into it. I almost waved, but I've got to ask this. Isn't it also true, though, that these rates that the ambulance services charge isn't true? They seem to me to be very exorbitant. I don't know how they're set. I think you mentioned it. But here again, like you mentioned, for a short ride, I know that they have professionally trained people on them, but $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for a short ride, it seems to me like it's something is not true, but that needs to be looked at also.
Well, that may be true, but it's like anything in the medical community today, treatments and otherwise, it all seems to be exorbitant. But I'm reminded by my friend that sits behind me, I'm an old timer, and I still look at the old-fashioned way of things. But I know how much it costs counties to run ambulance services. I know how much these advanced EMT, ERS vehicles, how much those cost and the waiting time to get them. I know how well trained the EMTs are and the competitive factor for having qualified EMTs. But that being said, I will tell you that if I have a heart attack, I'm not going to negotiate. Get me to the hospital quick. Get me to the ER. Or if it's my child or my grandchildren, if they have an emergency or if there's an accident, then I want somebody professionally to pick me up and get me to somebody that can save my life. Mr. Speaker, if there's no more questions, I would certainly ask for your favorable vote for this, and then you can really talk about you've taken I'm hoping that we've covered everything else in the medical services under surprise billing, but I'd certainly ask you to vote for this bill, and hopefully we've knocked off one more chip off the block.
Gentlemen, as yielded well, thank you for the bill. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. Have all members now voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 961, the yeas are 174, the nay is 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Members, we have a couple of announcements. We're going to take a lunch break. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting kind of hungry. We're going to take a lunch break, but first we're going to have our pages up on the screen. If you have a page, I will invite you to come down and join that page and myself right now, and we'll get some page photos because we have some work to do later today. Page photos during the lunch break. Chairman Corbett is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Rural Caucus will be meeting at the Ag Building down off of Trinity Street. Upon adjournment, lunch will be served. All members, come join us.
Representative Denia, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Georgia Legislative Black Caucus will be meeting today at 3 p.m. in CLOB 310. CLOB 310. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Chairman Parrish, I'll call you back. Representative Holly is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to say I'm proud to be able to have today my mentee who is joining me, Jonesboro High School graduate, soon to be a graduate, who has a 4.269 GPA. Judah Whaley, will you please stand so we can salute you? There he is, all the way to the back right. Thank you. Thank you. His parents, Norm and Renee, are in the gallery. Thank you for raising such a bright young man.
Congratulations to all. Chairlady Kemp, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Judiciary Juvenile is scheduled to meet today at 1 o'clock in room 403. Judiciary Juvenile, room 403, 1 o'clock. We have a very brief meeting, hopefully. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Parrish, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask the members of the Rules Committee to meet me at 1:30 in room 341. 1:30, room 341. Thank you.
That completes our announcements. This House will be in recess until 2 p.m. 2 p.m. in recess until 2 p.m.